some, get some. Can I get a hell yeah? Yes, I am a pirate. You have to go with the pirates because, of course, they have cannons and everything. It's a pirate's life for me. Be proud of who you are and what you are. You're pirate. It is a first down. Pirate. Because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it. I think I've ever been in a building as loud as that was. It was deafening in there. You live with Omaha? I can promise you that. And it's purple all night long in Eastern North Carolina.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.
My heart is purple and gold. I'm a pirate down to my soul, and I don't back down, not at all. Find out when the cannons explode.
All right, welcome into Extra Innings here on TSO. It's Sunday night, and yes, it may be raining. Yes, people may be under the weather on our show, but guess what? The show must go on, and I'm telling you guys, everything's going to be all right. All right, tomorrow, hopefully there'll be sunshine. Our staff meteorologist, and that will be AMS certified Alan Vick. How is the weather for tomorrow, sir?
Weather is going to be improving in the afternoon, and the week for the most part is going to be very nice. We're going to be in the 70s for a few days.
All right, so there you go. You can wear a T-shirt and shorts, right, Johnny Stats Robertson? I guess we'll come back to him, but AV, we would go 1-2. We are what we are, but guess what? 56 games. Nobody needs to be in the Pirate Panic room. Here's another thing I was telling you all pre-show and earlier today. My thoughts were that, yes, we could play a cupcake and be 3-0, but you really don't know. When you play a cupcake, you really don't know where you are as far as the team. Cliff Godwin is a real man, and he schedules like a real man, and we play a tough schedule for a reason. Our conference is not what we would like for it to be as far as multiple team bid league and for the regionals. And so for me, yes, not happy with 1-2. However, they will be just fine. We've seen this a million times as far as last year was a slow start, but I feel like these guys, I was concerned about the bats, but we'll talk about Johnny. We'll bring in Johnny Stats Robertson. I said that I didn't think the bats would be as warm as I wanted to be, but that's typical for this time of year. I'm not concerned in the least about this team. And I'm not hearing Johnny for some reason.
I'm not either.
All right, Johnny, you may have to sign out and sign back on, brother. I think that's probably what the case, because I saw you were off mute. But if you can sign out and sign back in. Alan, what were your thoughts going into, or now as you look back on the first opening series home weekend for the Pirates?
Well, the first thing we know is Xavier is a good baseball team. There's no question about it. They've got the bats. I mean, they've got some parts and pieces. They played well for the most part. Notoriously, if there has been one thing with a Cliff Godwin baseball team, it has been slow starts. But you want to be playing your best ball, at the end of the year instead of the beginning, and we're going to be fine. Nobody should panic. There should be nobody, running, in the other direction with their hair on fire or anything like that, because we got a long season to go. And again, Xavier, good baseball team, a very good baseball team.
On ESPN Plus yesterday, I swear I thought I saw you yesterday afternoon, Valentines Day. I thought your hair was on fire and you were running out of the jungle. It looked like.
You saw my hair on fire, or that would have been unusual. Anyway, no, but what a good crew. We'll talk about that. But what a nice crowd. I was there for opening day on Friday. What a crowd for a 4:00 Friday afternoon game.
No doubt, as we bring in now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have a drum roll, but if I could. There you go, Johnny Stats Robertson.
All right, how about now?
Yeah, you're great, man.
Oh, wow. Okay. Hey, going back to the beginning, that happens to me every time I leave Greenville. I leave, the sun comes out, it's beautiful weather, and I'm heading to Virginia. So
guess what? Yeah. Our show is off to a slow start. Maybe not like the Pirates, but we'll pick it up. And guess what? The Pirates will pick it up. We'll talk about that later in the show with a pregame previews of Campbell. We'll talk a little bit about Campbell and a little bit about Northern Illinois. Thanks to the guys for reminding me where was my brain for Wednesday night. But anyway, Johnny, want to get your thoughts on the weekend? What were your now looking back and you've had a chance to digest things, process things. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm not in panic mode in any way. I liked a lot of stuff that I saw, but if you were to tell me that Clay Burdett and Connor Mish weren't going to be able to play for Xavier, I would have definitely thought that we were going to sweep them. But we could have and maybe should have won game one.
Yep.
That was just, I mean, Ethan Norby. Here's something funny. He pitched on Valentine's Day last season and gave up 3 earned runs in 5.1 innings and took the loss. And then on opening weekend against Ryder, he gave up an earned run and only lasted 2 innings. We ended up winning that game though. But and what's happened all 3 times? Ethan Norby turned out to be a pretty good pitcher, and that's not going to change this year. There's nothing wrong with him. It was cold. I don't know if that affected him, but he didn't look like he had the spin on his ball that he normally does. But he wasn't wild. He did hit a couple batters though, but I'm not worried about Ethan. Our problem in game one, I'll tell you right now, we could not get any hits together. In the 5th inning, we had back-to-back doubles from Braden Burris and Jack Herring. But other than that, we were 1 for 16 with runners in scoring position. We had the bases loaded 3 times. I'm sorry, twice. 3 times. Yeah, we had it loaded again in the 9th inning. So yeah, we had a guy on third base with with 1 out and didn't score him, and we had bases loaded with 1 out and didn't score a run. So if we could have done that, and we had a couple errors at third. They had some errors too, though. So I'm not gonna blame that. I just felt like we played well enough to win. I thought Sean Jenkins came in.
That was a big move.
He hit 98, which I don't think he ever hit 98 last year.
No. Low 90s, right, Johnny?
Yeah. I think I remember a 94 last year, but I don't remember anything higher than that. But for him coming in, I'm telling you, it's like we have 6 or 7 starters now. I know Towers didn't, his debut wasn't, didn't go as he would want it to, but I know in the future, that's not going to be there. I'm confident that we have, still, even with what I saw this weekend, we have a pretty deep pitching staff that's going to be a huge factor for us going forward. We gave up 6 home runs this weekend. That's not normally something that Pirate pitchers do. And, I hate to keep using the word anomaly, but, we could have played better for sure. And we'll go over it game by game, but I'm disappointed. I'm going to be realistic. I'm not happy that we're 1-2. I could have lived with 2-1.
Right.
3-0 would have been wonderful, but you can't go 3-0. You can't sweep every single time. So, I'm not sweating it. I'm going to be rooting for Xavier. They're going to get their 2 key players back. I hope they kick some butt going forward and make us, look good.
Yeah, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you play a cupcake schedule and you win a lot of games, then you're probably going to be the outside looking in. You definitely have to win your tournament to get into the regionals, right? So for me, AV, no excuses. We are what we are, 1-2. However, we've been around this program many times. It's well coached. For me personally, I know fans, I know it was said off the air, we are spoiled. Okay. And yes, we should have high expectations. I know our good friend Kyle from LaGrange Bob, he'll be joining us soon, but he's going to tell you, and I know him very well because we've done the show. By the way, March 1st will be 8 years. So we have to have some cake and ice cream and cookies and whatever Alan Vick says he wants, he'll get. But seriously, like this team is going to be A-okay. And by the way, the medical field that I do my day job and this being my night job, moonlighting, I think baseball could not survive without acronyms, and same way in the medical community. But every time I see RISP, I have to remind myself that's runners in scoring position, and LOB, left on base. And that was my thing, guys. The runners in scoring position, we had that problem last year. And Johnny, please help me out. Off the top of my head, I counted, and I should have asked you pregame and our pre-show meeting, but I counted, if I'm not mistaken, on Friday night, was it 13 men left on base? Am I right? Am I anywhere close? I think that's right off the top of my. Anybody that knows, please tell me. But
sorry, Dave. I really hope this doesn't keep doing this all night long. But yeah, my internet is torturing me tonight.
Okay.
It was somewhere in the range of 13, 14.
Yeah. And when it's a one-run game.
Yep.
We were just. Thank you. Let's give a shout out to our brother in Connecticut. Matt Semenza gave us $9.99. Matt, by the way, I hadn't had a chance to pick on Matt yet. Semenza, you can take your weather and keep it up in Connecticut, okay? We don't want any more snow.
We love your money.
What's that?
We love your money. Keep your weather, but we love your money.
Yeah, send the money and we'll send you the weather. How about that? I think that's probably an unfair trade, but love Semenza. He's a great guy, and miss him a lot. And I know that he'll be probably appearing from time to time, especially the spring game, guys, going to be in I was wrong. So I'm a real man, by the way. I admit when I'm wrong. The spring game is going to be April the 18th. So I thought they were going to do it on the baseball weekend. It is a baseball weekend. I just got the wrong weekend. I thought it was going to be on the USF series. It's a series before. So you can come on the 18th. You can see the spring game at 2:00, and then afterwards walk over to Clark LeClaire, and I'll look up who we're playing. I forgot off the top of my head. But anyway, thank you, Semenza. Hopefully you can make it on April the 18th, and we can have a grand old time. But going back to baseball, Johnny, with that first game, you lose 4-3, and it has remnants of last year, I feel, because we had the slow start. I hope it's not as slow as it was last year. But you look at the games coming up ahead. I don't know anything about Northern Illinois, but I do know about Campbell on Tuesday night and Wednesday's Northern Illinois, and I know about UNC. UNC is loaded again. So I just want to tell the fan base once again, you need to be careful about looking at wins and losses right now, because this team is going to get red hot. I don't know when that's going to be. I'm not making excuse for Cliff Godwin, guys. But what would you rather have? Would you have a team that's well tested so that when we go into May and June and hopefully deep into June, they've been tested really hard, so they're not surprised by this great team? We could play 30 or 40 easy games and then play our conference, probably beat most of the teams in the conference, and you guys go, wow, we've got this huge record. And then, as Kyle would say, go 2 and barbecue and be out of the regional. So for me personally, I would rather have a tough schedule to get our guys ready. And basketball is the same way. If you play easy schedule, then you have these guys in March Madness complaining because we should have been in there. It's like, no, dude, you had like 20-some wins, and a lot of those wins were they were not quadrant one wins, So not example, but I just want people to know that we've seen Cliff Godwin turn this around many, many times. Nothing to worry about. And if we were playing an easy Xavier team, I would be very concerned, and I would tell you guys on the air. But Xavier is a lot better. People see the name Xavier in the casual fan, and they think, and we told you guys this before the season started, about don't sleep on Xavier. Not that our team did. Don't misunderstand me, but what do you guys think about that? We know they're a lot better than the name says with Xavier.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to say, I don't think that there's anything to to recover from. I mean, the score didn't go our way, but I mean, it wasn't like past when, even in the fall, our bats just weren't working. We talked last week about Irby and Herring going on a tear in the postseason and finishing, the final 8 games of the season just with ridiculous numbers. And Braden Burris, the same thing. Well, all 3 of them are still doing it. So I think Burris was he batted .462, and then Jack had our only home run. He had he's batting 385. Austin Irby 364. He had 3 doubles. Austin Irby did, and with an OPS of 1169, and Jack is 1236. Those are good numbers, people. That's getting it done at the plate. So I mean, Grady Linehan, everyone knew he was going to be good, but he proved himself right off the bat. Again, it was the timing of the hits weren't exactly what we needed every time, but the hits are there. The bats are there. For the most part, at the top of the order, anyhow. Colby's going to come around. We know that. So I think we got our fielding in position now. Braden wanted to play every position on the field because he can. That's why he wanted to. Because he can. And he was at third base. And I think we should have kept Colby at third base. I'm not second guessing Cliff. I mean, nobody should do that ever. But Colby had 2 errors all year last year, and now you moved him to shortstop. Braden goes to third, and I don't know if it was just the moment or what, but Braden made a couple of bad throws. Colby made a couple of bad throws, but I'm not blaming any of those errors on our losses, though. So it's just an area that I know that we're going to improve in rapidly, because I think Nick Parham ended up playing shortstop. And Nick's another guy that can play any position, and I feel much better with that being the situation going forward.
Let's bring in, ladies and gentlemen, he's making his debut on Extra Innings for the season and been with me almost 8 years, and that is Kyle from LaGrange Barber. Bro, how you feeling? Hopefully you're better. And you're coming off the bench today, but we appreciate you now. You're in the lineup.
Yeah, well, better for a moment. I don't see how long I stay on the show, but JR, I missed what you were saying. I guess you guys were just recapping the game. Are you guys on game 1? Or are you breaking it game by game? What are we doing?
Yeah, we're in game 1 right now. Okay. And get your overall, if you want to go ahead and give your overall thoughts on the weekend, and then we can jump back into game 1.
Obviously disappointing. I honestly, I only have so much to contribute to be fair. Saw 90% of game 1. Did not see much of game 2 and none of game 3. Just had different things come up over the weekend. So what I will contribute, I don't want to sit here and act like I know what I'm talking about when I didn't see it so much. Game 1, it's a situation where you have a chance in the 9th with the bases loaded, don't get it done. If you get it done there, you feel completely different about this weekend, I think. Because you take care of it in game 3, you put up 12 runs. Game 2 was very disappointing, but if you tied up there, walking off, winning extra innings, whatever, then you feel completely different about the weekend. I think the bats, from what I saw, at least in game 1, and based on the score of game 2, I think are concerned, but they came alive in game 3. I'll get y'all's perspective more on that, and I'm not worried yet. Any fielding errors, that'll get corrected. That'll take care of itself. We're not going to have a bad fielding team. We never have since Cliff has been here. So I don't think that's going to start now. I'd like to ask JR this, and Alan, Dave, whoever, particularly JR.
Oh, Semenza. Kyle's recovering from eating at Waffle House.
Well, I think it's a combination of Waffle House mixed with Waffle House mixed with tequila.
Hey, Kyle, what was the name of the, and you guys, I think I know this right, but Burt Reynolds and Smokey and the Bandit called it the choke and puke.
Yeah, no, nothing's wrong with Waffle House. It's just a Waffle House mixed with tequila.
I'm not dogging Waffle House. I was just thinking about the Kyle eating at the choke and puke.
Yeah, the choke and puke, yeah. But probably had more to do with the tequila. Anyway, the question I had, JR, how did you think of the approach at the plate? Did we seem to be more aggressive with the swinging? I mean, do you think the change of plate approachment is what's causing the slow start for the bats?
Okay, I will say no, because Kyle, I was thinking there would be, and I was, really interested in seeing how that played out. I didn't really see much of a change at all. I think Braden's only hit in game 1 was a bunt.
Sounds right.
Yeah, and they as far as taking pitches and stuff like that, I think it's just too early. I think it's too early to tell, and maybe Jake's waiting to see, how the season progresses and makes small incremental moves. I don't know. Honestly, I didn't see anything that was a major difference like I thought that I might.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, well, that's pretty much my take on it. Without seeing a lot, that would be my take on things. I'm not worried yet. In terms of how I think the season will play out. Do we need to read Kenny's comment here?
Yeah, I was going to read it real quick. Game 1 had our chance and go down looking. My dad would have chewed my buttock out if went down with the bat on my shoulder. Protected play with that count. I agree with you.
How bad was the pitch though? Was it close or was it an obvious strike?
No, you need to. It was a 3. It was a full count, I think.
Yeah,
it was a full count, and you can't leave that up to the umpire to make that decision.
I mean, I don't know if you think it's a ball, that walks in the tie and run. It's as good as a base hit.
Yeah, it was a strike. Thank you, John. It was.
Was it close? I mean, was it close or was it a
I mean,
definite
it wasn't
strike?
down, from what I remember, was not down Main Street, but it was close enough that you could make.
I mean, if it was a strike, it was a strike. You got to swing.
Yeah, it was definitely a strike. I mean, that I couldn't argue. I mean,
I guess what I'm asking is, was the batter being
corner?
Okay. I mean, he was trying to get that walk on ball 4. I mean, I get what you're saying. You can't leave it up to the umpire. I don't know how they're coaching that. I mean, I've seen a lot. Too close to takes with John White. I'll trust his opinion on that.
I mean, if it's like way high, like I told Alexander, they're not going to swing at that.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I've seen many a game tying run or game winning run come in on a full count with bases loaded. So
that would have tied it. That would have tied it. And,
he did take a couple of balls prior to that. They were close too. I mean, John was watching on TV. I'm watching from left field.
it was a good. I mean,
it looked like some of the balls that he took that were called balls could have been strikes as well. I mean, he took a lot of close pitches. I guess that's what I'm going to say.
Yeah, who was it? I'm sorry because I didn't see it at the very end. I know what happened. I didn't see at the bottom of the night. So,
Braden.
Okay.
Plug-in percentage was great. It was just top half of the lineup. Nobody else on base.
Yeah. I think we'll be fine. JR, how concerned are you?
Not at all. I mean, I liked for instance, some of our pitchers got beat up, but I know that in the future, that's not going to be the case. I just love our pitching staff even more now that I saw it. I feel really, really, well, we're not actually on game 2 yet, so I'll withhold my comments till we start talking about game 2. But yeah, Kyle, no, I'm not worried.
Okay. I guess my only concern really would be the schedule's so top heavy. We got with the midweek games aside, and we got some tough ones there. But you got Carolina, then you go into the Clark Leclerc Classic or Keith Leclerc Classic. I'm sorry, and then a few weekends from now it's the Coastal Carolina series. So with all that said, you go win 2 out of 3 against Carolina this coming weekend and take care of business midweek. Nobody's thinking about the Xavier series anymore.
Exactly. Alan, I know that you and I have watched a lot of games over last handful of years together. And for me, very disappointing. We want to be 3-0. But at the same time, when you look at coming up, we've got Campbell on the road at Segra Stadium. We have the home game against Northern Illinois on Wednesday afternoon at 4:00, by the way. And then we have the Friday night game with North Carolina. We need that place rocking, folks. No excuses. I'll be there. Alan, I know Alan will make sure that I don't get in trouble in the press box. And then on Saturday it's at the DBAP. So those of you like Bubba that are more in the Triangle area, Triad or Charlotte area, make sure you get there. And on Sunday is going to be in Chapel Hill. So, you'd like to think that we could take 2 out of 3 from North Carolina. We'll see. I don't know, but I feel good about the team. And when Coach talks about the baseball season's a marathon and not a sprint, I reminded myself that because I was really hurt about the weekend, obviously, but at the same time, I don't know that there's ever been a team or will be a team that's going undefeated and going 56-0. So
yeah, I agree.
Not worried at all, and we need to watch Xavier. They've got a murderous schedule for the rest of the year, but watch Xavier with that schedule. If they win some games, their RPI is going to be really high.
Yeah.
And if they're able to get off, play even a little bit over 500 baseball, that's going to be impressive. So that I always enjoy watching the team that we lead off with and watching their ebbs and flows in the season as well. Xavier is really good, and they were missing two of their best players, and they simply, in a couple of the games, second game especially we'll talk about, but they outplayed us. We got off to a slow start. We left too many men on base. It hurt, but nothing to panic about. Cliff and the slow start has kind of been I won't say a pattern, but it's happened quite a few times over the last years, and we always seem to find our way out of it. So
Yeah. Hey, real quick, man. I am completely. Did I say Braden Burrs took that pitch? To take strike three. That was Braden didn't strike out at all. That was Jeff Sabater.
Yeah, you did, JR.
Because I was looking at stats for Braden Burrs getting he had our only first inning hit. We were 1 for 10 in the first inning, and that one hit was Braden Burrs' bunt. That's what I was looking at when you asked me that. But that doesn't make sense. It was Jeff Sabater, not my apologies to Braden.
No worries. That's going to happen. We don't pretend to be talking heads. Maybe Alan Vick does, but not the rest of us. We're normal dudes. And
great band. I like them a lot.
By the way, John White. Let's see. Let's go back to Kenny's. We made terrible pitches with 2 strikes and no balls. With praise comes criticism. Also, will this team hit a groove? Yes, but it was still frustrating. Exactly, Kenny. John says give Xavier some credit. He has assembled a good team, better than 4th in the Big East, in my opinion. And John is obviously well versed in baseball, so appreciate you, John, as always, for being here. Solid without 2 best hitters, impressive team. Exactly. Here's what I would be upset with, guys. Like I told you guys, is if we played really bad to a really bad team, you have to worry about that. But when you have a good team, and we've got to find, I think it's another thing this year, we're going to have to find our identity. We got to find, Coach knows more about baseball than I'll ever know, and he's forgot more than I'll ever know. And we got to find the right lineup. But pitching tends to be, and help me, John White, but pitching usually is better than your hitting this time of year. So that's been my
way to develop chemistry is to play real games with each other. That's really the only plausible way to develop chemistry. It may take a few games with the portal and everything going on. It's just the way it is. It takes a few games to develop chemistry, and I think this team is going to be fine.
Is there anything specifically more we need to address from game 1?
No, I was going to say, Johnny, let's move on to game 2. Yesterday, obviously Valentine's Day, and a lot of people took their Valentines, or maybe not, to Clark LeClaire. And you kind of wondered about that game, guys. I will say this: after that loss on Friday night, how will the team respond? I thought maybe I'm wrong, and but I felt like the team had a hangover from that first game. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but the second game of the doubleheader we'll talk about from last night, the nightcap, if you will, they look like a completely different baseball team, and I'll tell you why I think that happened. But what did you guys think about game 2?
Well, I felt terrible personally for I know it was, the score is not indicative of a game that you think you could have won, but I think we lost 9-3, but I think we could have won it. And I'll tell you what, our starting pitcher did his best. Gavin Van Kempen, I thought looked really, really good. He pitched 4 full innings. He only gave up 1 hit, didn't walk anybody, didn't hit anybody, didn't have any wild pitches. Because of some errors, he did give up a couple of runs. None of them were earned, and he got the loss. He pitched 4 innings, only had 1 base runner. That wasn't a result of an error, and he ended up taking the loss. So I felt bad for him. In most cases, he pitched well enough, to definitely get the Pirates a victory. But and then Ethan Rose, he came in and pitched an inning of perfect baseball. So, it's the other guys. Their first start is Pirates. Luke Payne, not start, but their first appearance as pitchers for the Pirates. Luke Payne and Thomas Paxton, and Ryan Towers, his first appearance. He didn't get to play much at all. He didn't. Last season he didn't play, and this season everyone's been waiting for him. I'm sure he was amped up, and like I said, we gave up 6 home runs. That is not ever a good case. But that game was there for the taking, I think, if the pitching turned out a little bit better. And John, you can chime in on this. Again, I'm in left field. You're watching on TV. Was that umpire, was he doing his job efficiently, or was there some shady calls there from behind the plate in game 2? I think there's probably some bad calls on his part, which really hurt our pitchers, getting them behind an account when they shouldn't have been.
I'll tell you one thing, boy, Cliff Godwin, I was trying to remember what part of that game, the first game was Saturday, yesterday's game. We've seen him many times. He was really red in the face. I don't know if you guys saw that, but he really, on both for hitting and pitching, he was not liking, obviously. That's something that maybe Justin can help us out with. But the strike zone is something that seems to be narrowing down. Austin Knight, I believe, talked about that in the media days, Alan, if you remember.
Yeah.
But so that, no excuses. But okay, let me interject here is what Justin Butts said. He's got his daughter. He's putting his daughters to bed, so getting them to sleep. But he's coming through with it. He said his strike zone had me questioning. So, like I said, Cliff Godwin was going. There was some times he was going nuts, and I was like, "Oh wow!" It was toward, and I remember there was one time it was towards the end of game 1 of the doubleheader, so that's why I was like, "Wow."
What you want is consistency, and I think game 2, I think the strike zone was a little more inconsistent than it was game 1. Now, did that make a huge difference in the final? Maybe, maybe not. But I think Cliff had a case there in game 2 on a few of those pitches for sure.
John White has been around baseball for a long time. Obviously, former pitcher for Gary Overton for the Pirates. He put on that uniform. He worked his tail off. A great pitcher, and we appreciate him being part of our show for many years. And he says second game umpire was most inconsistent I have seen in a long time.
And he's saying something.
Ever established. And I noticed I didn't comment, as you guys know. I normally get mad with the umpires. Kyle will tell you. But when I saw Cliff Godwin going nuts, I said, a part of it you could say, well, he may be trying to get his team, but it was towards the end of the game.
With Paxton and Webb, they're trying to they have to strike out a batter with 4 strikes because they're not getting the strike 3 calls not going their way, and they have to throw extra pitches. And I'm assuming it gets in their head. I don't know, but it makes things difficult for sure.
Exactly, and I know with Alan with that game, it's that's frustrating because you almost win game 1, as we talked about, and then you're not getting the consistency of the calls for game 2. And you were fair when you said, I don't know if it'll make a difference, but I will tell you that if I get a strike 3 call instead of walking the guy, I mean, John, you're the pitcher, not me, but I would think that I'm starting to get in my head, like, what do I have to do to get a strike for this guy? Like Johnny was saying, instead of getting a strikeout, I'm walking off the mound. Instead, that guy's taking his base for first base. So I don't know about that, but that was I thought game 1 and 3 overall, I was happy with the umpiring. I didn't see as, like, in other words, game 1, we made our mistakes on the field defensively. It happens when we leave, like I said, it was 13, 14 batters on base in game 1. That really hurts. You have bases loaded in the 9th inning, 3-2 pitch, you're caught looking. That's tough. And then game 2, I don't know. That was you lose, like Johnny said, 9-3. But that game, what was it, guys? That's the way baseball is. Was it the 5th or 6th inning? We had that really bad inning. Was it the 6th inning or 5th?
It's again. It was the 6th inning again. A 5-run 6th inning, just like George Mason was last year in game 1.
Yeah. So that, to me, I'm like, what do we have to, and maybe you guys, John and Justin, can comment, but what do we have to do to get off the field? Obviously, you don't want the free 90s like Coach talks about. And, game one was more of that. But again, if you, when it comes to pitching, does it get it in your head? Does it get in your head when you're, that you've got a good chance for that to be strike three and they call a ball?
I was pretty impressed overall with Van Kempen. He's obviously got the physical tools. I mean, there's no question. He's a man on the mound, and he could be dominant, I think, down the road.
John said, to be fair, he was horrible for both sides, and not only pitchers, the hitters have no clue either. So I think that's again, you look at that game, and obviously that's the way baseball is. I remember my mom, talking about a few years ago. She was with me at a game in the regional. I think it was Virginia. And she said it's just amazing how baseball can change so quickly. And you felt like we were in that game. We had a good chance to win, and and there you go, a huge inning for them. And that was pretty much lights out for game two. But did you guys have anything else for game two to talk about?
Just not. It wasn't. It was just. It was what it was. He gave up.
Right. I will say this: it was historical. Game two was historical. It's the first time this century that we never had the lead after two games, and we never had the lead after the first 19 innings of the series, and that had never happened before. I can only go back so far, but I can tell you that this century that had never happened before. So, and I don't expect it'll happen again.
Kyle, I know you've talked about it in the past. To bring you in, Kyle, when you look at the situation with the Pirates, we expect the expectations to be high, but we have been spoiled. I mean, when you look at it, we don't have our bad season is not like a season where it's so bad that you're embarrassed. Like, we have other sports at ECU where we're embarrassed, and I don't even have to say what sport that is. Yeah. But with baseball, it's tough. It hurts. But here, I mean, what were you thinking, Kyle?
About what?
I was just saying I was talking about how you always talk about how we're spoiled, and you talk about how that we do have high expectations, which is true. But here, I think, to be fair to our team, we're a long ways from May and June, and if we're discussing this in April, it's a huge problem. But right now,
well, the thing about it is, your preseason top 25. You come off the run we had at the end of last year, and I think everybody wanted to see us get off to a fast start because it seems we've gotten off slow starts here recently, and so it's a little. I think it's more frustrating from that aspect. Most folks who follow baseball expect the turnaround, expect that this is just a blip on the radar. It's just I think from the diehards, it's just frustrating that we didn't get off to the fast start. That we would have liked to have seen that just because it seems like it's been a couple years since we've done that, at least from my aspect. But in terms of the season, how the season's playing out, no, nothing's changed from the Xavier series. Now 5 weeks from now, if we're still losing 2 out of 3 every weekend or every other weekend, then it'll be time to start worrying. But as we're sitting here, week one, no, expectations are what they were. It's just we lost the series. We could have easily have won it. No, nothing's changed about expectations. And in terms of a bad season for baseball, technically last year would have been considered a bad season for baseball because we had to win the conference tournament and make it into the regionals.
Kenny says game two was so bad I turned it into a basketball game. Can you believe that? Thank you. By the way, more super chats. Let me get this one in, Johnny, and I'll throw it back to you. We have a $5 super chat. A win in Florida. ECU series RHE line was 18-27-4. And help me out, guys, with that. With X was 18-29-2. So maybe is that strikeouts with X? So many errors were so maybe errors were a factor.
Yeah. I can tell you that for the series, both teams scored 18 runs.
X means Xavier.
Xavier. Oh, I see.
Oh, okay, right. So, anyhow, both teams scored 18 runs. Their pitchers hit our batters 10 times. We only hit their batters 3 times. We allowed 9 walks. They allowed 10. We struck out 27. They struck out 16. Hits, we allowed 29. They allowed 27. The big thing was the home runs, 6-1 in their favor. And like I said, hitting with runners in scoring position. And those things will get better.
6 there, yeah, into the guy who gave us the super chat money. Appreciate that. And then John White continue on his point about errors. Like the previous gentleman just said, errors were a factor, and now John White, yeah, I mean, put 6
They
errors
have themselves though.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes you just have errors at the wrong. Ain't no good time for an error, Justin. But or shit, oh God, oh boy, Jr. Justin's on the show tonight. Ain't no good time for an error, Jr. But obviously, some can occur in more timely.
Correct.
Yeah, than others. I can't talk here. Let me just shut up for a minute. Apparently,
No, you're good. That's a good point, though. Ask Gavin Van Kempen; he'll agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah.
Here's another thing we talked about earlier. A win again in Florida. Runners in scoring position. Again, RISP.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you just go to the bottom of the ninth for that one. But yeah, I mean, that's
the first game. Like
you gotta have productive at bats, and that's another big thing. Is your number of hits aren't important as when your hits come.
Yep.
You see teams with a lot less hits in the game win the game many times because they had timely hitting, and that's something good teams do. And if we're going to be a good team as the season goes on, that's the biggest thing to me always with baseball is your average and all that's good, but it's timely hitting that really makes a difference in winning and losing ball games.
You can't that many runners on base and beat a good team.
Like I said, Kyle, we left like 13 or 14 LOB left on base.
13 in game 1, and I think only 3 in game 2. I think.
Or 13 was. I mean, that's like.
I mean, yeah. You see game. If you win game 1, if you just we should have won game 1. We should have won it going away. But you take away the errors or just take advantage of. I wouldn't even say half those runners scoring position, just a couple of them. And it's a totally different game in game 1, and we're sitting here talking about, hey, what happened game 2? Oh well, but we won the series 2-1. Losing game 1 makes this weekend feel so much different.
Yeah, 13 in game 1, 11 in game 2.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean,
the 2 games we lost, we left 24. The 2 games combined 24 runners, and I mean on the basis, and so that's maybe stating the obvious, but that's something that we talked about last year. If you remember, we had as one of our traits, and hopefully it's just this weekend, and that we won't leave a ton of guys on base, and that's the difference between winning and losing. If you think about it, all those guys we had 13 on Friday night. We just needed a single, a walk, anything to get the tie, but we didn't. And 11 in the second game. And Johnny, are you done with game 2? Do you want to move on to game 3?
Oh yeah, no, I'm done.
Okay. Game 3, obviously we did get the win, the nightcap of the series. We played, obviously, those of you remember, we had to move the game up. And so Sunday's game was played for the second game of the doubleheader. And Johnny, a much different team, but I will tell you, maybe the inner Kyle is coming out, and I'll tell you why I say that. Not picking on Kyle at all. Was it because we had, by that point of game 3, that we'd had all their best pitchers, and we were able to unload? I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there as an observation I had yesterday afternoon watching game 2. Is maybe their pitching was by that point they didn't have a lot left. That's just my gut feeling.
I agree. And I say I'm wishing.
Oh, we have the Haymarket internet going again, Johnny. Yeah, we'll have to, Johnny. We got it's starting to sound like a robot. I apologize, bud. But Game 3, obviously, with the Pirates, with the baseball, when you get that win 12-5, I kind of, Alan, I kind of wanted to go, can we save like 5 or 6 of those runs for Campbell on Tuesday night at Segra Stadium in Fayetteville?
Yeah, well, we jumped off to a lead in Game 3, first of all, and that was a big. We executed, didn't leave that many runners on base, and we played Pirate baseball, and we didn't really ever let them back into it. And and hopefully that's going to carry over to Campbell. That's what I'm.
So are we playing that game in Fayetteville, not Boys Creek?
Wait a minute, let me look. You're right.
No, it's in Boys Creek. Yeah, Charleston Southern, or College of Charleston,
Creek, yeah.
one of those Charleston schools is in. We're playing that in Fayetteville. Yeah,
Perry Stadium, yeah. I didn't.
Don't go to Segra Stadium this Tuesday night for that. It's in Bowie Creek. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I didn't get to see any of the third game, the second game of the doubleheader, but the Pirates obviously handled business 12-5. What did you guys see in terms of did we just have timely hitting? Was it home runs? I mean, I didn't get to see it. Was it more we just took advantage of runners in scoring position, or did we hit for some power? What exactly happened?
I felt like Alan said, it was much more like Pirate baseball. We got the lead early, which you felt like we would on, Friday or the first game for Saturday of the doubleheader. We didn't. And it felt more like Pirate baseball on the second game, like they were finally. In fact, Kenny said Game 3 was, we better show up or Cliff is going to lose his mind. We had the more energy in that game.
Yeah,
for sure. And Johnny, Kyle was asking, was it because of we didn't leave runners in scoring position, pitching, hitting?
Yeah, how do we put up the runs in Game 3 to put up the
okay?
runs?
In my opinion, we weren't putting hits back to back too often earlier, but the top of our lineup, like the first 6 batting positions, was like 12 for 24. I'm going to tell you exactly what it was. 12 for 26. So that's pretty darn good. They almost batted 500. Generated a lot of runs, generated 4, 5, 6, 7 runs at the top of the order. So, when everyone's hitting at the top, it makes things easier.
Yeah. And when Xavier made a little run late in the game, we were able to come back and score 3 runs in 1 inning late, and then pick up another, some runs late to put it away. So when they would sneak back into it, we were able to answer.
Yeah, good point.
So.
I want. I guess John part of.
JR, your internet's cutting out again.
Anybody?
Yeah, we got you now. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, so I was saying I'm interested in, John White's been contributing tonight to the show quite a bit. Gavin Marley, it looks like he has some ridiculous stuff. I would be interested to see what John had to say, because again, I'm in left field watching, so it looked like he had a lot of movement on his balls, and he looks like he's going to be very, very effective for us.
Yeah, he was one of the. Pitching, I thought overall was fine. I don't think we have anything to worry about. We talked about the depth. I did have a question for you guys. When D'Lo, did he have an injury? Is that what happened? I know he did not.
No, not that I'm aware of.
Because they said the trainer on television, the trainer came out.
Yeah, well, he just walked somebody in 4 pitches, and they came out. And then they took him out. Right. There could have been, maybe he just felt something, it wasn't right that I was unaware of. I mean, I didn't know that he was injured. I thought he was getting pulled. We even said, wow, Cliff is not taking any chances here, because we had a nice lead at that point, 7 runs or so.
Yeah.
And he came out there, and, you don't want to do that. You don't want to go out there and walk someone in 4 pitches. We just thought that he had just had a short leash. I don't know. I hope he's not injured.
Yeah, he did have a short leash, but I thought that, like you guys, I thought that at first it was for that, and I was just curious if there was anything to that, or is it maybe as a pitcher that I'm saying, hey man, something has happened. I just didn't have good stuff, and I say that my arm is hurt. I don't know. That would, but anyway, John White said a lot of run on this ball. Walker had trouble catching it.
There you go.
A lot of movement there.
Hey, I will add this. Going forward, another reason for optimism, we're going to be healthier. We're going to be a much healthier team going forward. Hopefully, unless something else happens. But, we during the pregame prayer, Alex Boucher twisted his ankle and was unavailable. Matt Lashley's still trying to recover from.
Wait a minute.
What?
How do you twist your ankle during a prayer?
Well, I guess they were all like in the crouching position and he jumped up and I don't know. I don't know how you would do it.
We doing Pentecostal style services now before
No,
game?
I watched it. I watched the service. It was nothing crazy, but he did twist his
Are
ankle.
they taking up snakes in left field?
And it was game one, so he was unavailable for the series. And Alex Peltier, his arm was he was not feeling like he could throw the ball. So that precluded him from playing anywhere in the outfield. So we really couldn't use AP like we would want to. Alex Boucher, like I said, he was hurt. And Matt Lashley didn't play at all either. And Lord knows we could have used some shortstop help, but he has a leg strain. I don't know if it's thigh or hamstring, quad, something like that. I don't think it's a serious issue, but it's enough where they don't want to chance it.
I'll just tell Alex Boucher, Mama was right. Baseball is the devil.
We get those snakes out, Alan. Alan's churches, a church he goes to has these rattlesnakes.
Heard a lot of weird injuries, a lot of weird times, but that's the first time I've ever heard he was injured.
Were you saying that Alan Thomas goes to one of those old school?
Alan Vick goes to one.
Well, Alan Thomas. Actually, I think Alan Thomas is Pentecostal. Now that I say that, sorry, I wasn't making a joke about Alan Thomas, but Alan Vick, are you Pentecostal?
I am not.
Oh, well, I think Alan Thomas might be. I swear to God. I swear I heard that somewhere. AT, let me know. Am I making that up? Or if I'm getting that wrong, I didn't mean, whether you are or not, it doesn't matter. But I swear now that I say that.
John says, were they talking in tongues or something?
That is the first time and all the he was injured during the prayer. After the prayer. Let's get it straight. The prayer had concluded. He was jumped up after the prayer, and
jumping for Jesus.
England in Florida says they did pull D'Lo, but I think they faked injury to get. I was wondering about that too, Awin, because there's an injury, you get extra warm up time, and maybe they did that to say, hey, your arm is hurting right now, and we're going to get I forgot who man. It felt like forever. For that warm-up time. And I'm not one of these guys that loves that pitch clock, but man, it felt like what is it normally, guys? 60 seconds, John? It's like
for what?
Seconds, or it's not a lot of time that you get to warm up, or 2 minutes.
Oh, it has to be more than 60 seconds, but it might not be. It just seems that way. It seems like forever, but I don't know.
Situation. It depends.
And then is the warm-up time the same if you pull Colby from third base? He's not in the bullpen.
Where's Justin at tonight for these questions?
Yeah,
Justin was getting his daughters to bed. I do know that, so he was being a good dad, and he was chiming in via message tonight. So he's our correspondent from, I guess, YouTube.
Okay.
So let's see. They can make bad beats on ESPN.
Yeah. Yep.
I hadn't thought about it yet. Wow. Yeah. So. Anyway, you're right about that, Johnny. So the ECU Health Access or the ECU Health Injury Report, I guess, we'll have to get a sponsor. But if you want to sponsor our show and you're in the medical field, we would love to have you, because the injury report is something we talk about all the time, and you can get a lot of sponsorship, a lot of bang for your buck when it comes to extra innings on the Sports Objective. So, he says as long as you need.
Oh, and the warm-ups.
On injury, yeah. Okay. That's the kicker right there. So, John, what about if it's just a regular pitching change? It's like 60 seconds. They are supposed to enforce it, the umpires, and I need Justin on that on how it's like 1 or 2 minutes. I was just trying to remember off the top of my head. But anyway, The injury part, the piece of it is, yeah, as long as you need on injury. So that's probably why, again, D'Lo was hurting. So to get more time for Cliff was doing everything he could to get a win, and we got the win, and glad we did. That's 1-2 is not great, but it's a heck of a lot better than 0-3. That would be rough.
Well, they're done that, wound up a national seed that year. So, you know,
Bryant, right?
It's way too early to get concerned. If we had lost all 3 games, I would have been disappointed, but no need to go jump off a Green Street Bridge or anything like that. But yeah, winning that last game was big. And I'm like Kyle and the rest of you. The game 1 was winnable, and it would have changed the whole vibe of the weekend. But now we just need to build on the momentum from last night and go from there.
Yeah, the game on. By the way, guys, if you want, are we done with talking about the 3 games, Johnny? You have some
I think so.
Okay, so we're going to do while in the show, we're going to do a quick preview of Campbell. And by the way, guys, Campbell went 1-2 this week over Cal Poly. They lost, they won Friday night 5-2. They lost yesterday, the beginning. They had a doubleheader as well at Jim Perry Stadium. Jim Perry, of course, from Martin County, from Williamston, and Gaylord Perry, his brother. So he knows a few things about baseball. Jim Perry does, and the stadium was named after him in the last year or two. They lose on Saturday. The first game, they lose 16-5, and then they had a game. Their nightcap of the doubleheader. The second game was they lost 4-3, guys. So they lost a really heartbreaker. That was where they are. And if you're wondering about Northern Illinois, they've played 2 out of 3 against North Carolina A&T. They won the first game on Friday afternoon, 10-2. They lost yesterday, 10-3, and tomorrow afternoon they have a game with North Carolina A&T at 3:00. So we'll keep our eyes on that. But right now they're 1-1 on the year, and we're fighting the rubber match tomorrow afternoon in Greensboro.
Yeah, I'll mention one thing about those 2 teams. We gave up 6 home runs this weekend. Neither one of those teams hit a home run at all this weekend. So kind of like that. And I looked at the attendance for the North Carolina A&T game, and it was 87. So when they come here, I'm talking about Northern Illinois. When Northern Illinois comes to the Chicago, hopefully,
JR is playing the role of Awesome 5000.
I think he said the attendance was 87 people. And
That's all I heard was the number 87. So it could have been 587. It could have been 187. It could have been 1,087. All I heard was 87.
Yeah.
JR, are you back? I wonder if we can hear JR now. We cannot. We cannot hear JR at all.
Hello, JR. We cannot hear you if you're talking. You'll have to sign out, sign back in.
There you go.
There you go. Osimo has rebooted
completely. And hey, this isn't Haymarket internet. This is Greenville internet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Probably because all the rain.
Yeah.
But did you say there was only 87 people there?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That's it. Yeah. So they're in for a little bit of a shock when they come here.
87 people.
That's really sad.
George Mason had a game last season with 34.
Ooh.
So, and that's George Mason's obviously a bigger program. Yeah, they had 34 people last year against some Ivy League team. I don't know if maybe it was Brown.
It's amazing. Like college baseball is really one of those sports that some places look at it almost like it's football and basketball, like East Carolina, and then other places look at it like it's the equivalent to golf. It's crazy with baseball. I think more than any other sport, how much of it, from one school to another, particularly regional. Well, George Mason's in Virginia, so it really is from school to school, whether it's treated more like a revenue sport or more like an Olympic sport.
And we definitely treat baseball like a revenue sport, and it has potential, especially if we host a regional and super regional, like I think we will this year. And boy, that sounds like a hot take after weekend 1.
Did you guys like the ads out on the polls? They just recently did that. Did you see the ads out on
Didn't they do that last year?
I don't think so. I was talking to Valerie Rudd upstairs Friday, and she said they had just put the advertisements on the polls.
I swear they did that one time
I-
recently. Like they're kind of high up on the pole.
Yeah, but there's like 5 or 6 of them, out there, and I think it's pretty cool. I was wondering who was going to be the first player to hit one of the advertisements.
We've got
Didn't they do that last year? Or am I out of my mind?
I don't remember.
I know they talked about it, Kyle, last year because a lot of people had an issue with it taken away from the ambiance, but I didn't notice, so there must not have been a huge ambiance.
Okay, so they did do
Issue.
it last year, and you didn't notice again this year.
Could be.
I know
Could be.
this year, so I'm 1 out of 2, I guess.
super chats from Kenneth. Thank you, Kenneth, for the $9.99.
Kenneth is.
He's on a
Well,
roll.
thank you, Kenneth.
Money.
Yeah, exactly. Show me the money. I felt like Jerry Maguire, but
Yeah. Remind me, Dave, to monetize. I always forget to monetize. This is again so much to discuss off the air, but I'm thinking of it now. Remind me to monetize these episodes on YouTube.
I did a few
when we're done.
Yeah, get back and look, check it for me, Kyle.
Oh, you did some? Okay.
But
Well,
check
this one.
double check it for me.
And if you'll remember, if we have a chance to create the broadcast beforehand, we can go ahead and monetize the thing beforehand.
Yeah.
This is really some stuff that we should not be discussing on the air.
It's all right. It's all right. But Kenneth's talking about there are going to be a lot of Pirates in Fayetteville. You're right, Kyle. ECU versus Charleston. It'll be a great crowd, great stadium. And his office, Kenneth said earlier in a comment, is right across the street from Segra Stadium. And he sees and goes to a lot of the Woodpeckers games.
Nice.
Nice.
So
That's the only way you're going to be able to see that game if you go, right?
yeah, you won't be able to see
Hey, but I'll tell you this. For the good folks in Eastern North Carolina. No. You don't have to spend money. What's that goofy crap Campbell's on?
Flow.
Yeah. She comes once a month. She does. Gets in the way of things. But that goofy ass Flow Sports, that app that you have to pay for. No, if you live in Eastern North Carolina, do not spend your money on that because the game will be live on WITN 7.2 because WITN 7.2 is the official home
Of the
in
Campbell
Eastern North
Camels.
Carolina of the Campbell Camels.
Oh, great point, Kyle.
Yes. So
Yeah.
our game will be up there as part of the Campbell coverage, not part of Pirate coverage, but because 7.2. How good is Chris Haymeyer, by the way? I mean, just how good is Chris Haymeyer?
The best.
Getting that deal for Campbell, not only for football, but for basketball, baseball, and some softball games. But as part of that package for Campbell and WITN 7.2, if you can't be in Bowies Creek and you don't want to give your money to Flow, but you live in the Eastern North Carolina area, you can get that on 7.2.
Yeah, I've watched several basketball games, Campbell basketball games, on and off on that channel this year. What's that? It's My TV, I believe it is on WITN.
Yeah. Me TV.
I think it's actually. I think there is Me TV, but I think the 7.2 is My TV.
It may be.
And Mo.
Alan, does Flow TV cover Carteret County Speedway?
Some, not every race, but
They
some
do have Flow Racing. That's right. They do have Flow Racing, right?
Flow racing. They do some events, yes.
So let me ask you, Alan, when you do the $30 a month, is that just per sport or is that for anything for Flow?
I think that covers pretty much everything. That I believe it does.
Who's the spokesperson for Flow Racing? Danica Patrick?
I don't know. No.
I'm not touching that one.
I think she's too old, Kyle.
Tony Behringer was her name. Brent Behringer. She's too old. Janet Guthrie is the spokesman for.
What's that? Oh my God.
They are with the line of the night.
Yeah, JR, he got us there.
They're on the internet.
By the way, we have to. I feel it's my fault, but I will do now. Let's pick, and obviously you can play along at home as well, or wherever you listen or watch the show. Extra innings pitcher of the week. Who you got?
Oh, don't ask me. Yeah, somebody said somebody else started. JR, go ahead.
I like, even though he had a hard luck game. I like Van Kempen. I think he's got a huge upside.
What about you, Johnny?
I like him too, but I got to go with the freshman, Colby Weber. It's tough to do what he did. He got the only win. I mean, he's got that on his tally. That was a strong effort from a true freshman. Just to give you some context, Colby Weber was not the American preseason freshman pitcher of the year. It was another Colby, the Colby at Wichita State, and he only pitched 2/3 of an inning, didn't give up any hits, struck out one. So he had a nice showing, but he only pitched, less than one inning against a terrible Northern Colorado team, where Colby Weber was, competing against top bats, and he just looked really good out there. So I'm going Colby Weber.
All right.
But Van Kempen, yeah, I loved what I saw with him too.
All right. So we're going to go, let's go player of the week. For extra innings player of the week, who you got?
I mean, you have a preference, Alan?
Braden Burris.
Okay. Now, I don't know if player of the week, do you consider errors? Because if you do, Braden had 3 of them, and I don't think and even if he didn't get any errors, man, Jack Herring. I think I got to go with Jack Herring.
Yeah, I would say Jack Herring, and then Irby, and then Burris.
But Irby had 3 doubles. Yeah. Man, isn't it a great thing when you have 3 players that you could make a case for all 3 of them to be player of the week? Not because they're all mediocre, but because all of them were outstanding.
Yeah, and that's going to be this way all year long. We're going to have the same problem every week with the player of the game. With this,
good problem to have, Alan. It could be the same dude every single week. So, all right. So let's see if we have.
So, it's next week. If we'll get together in the text group before the show, we'll go ahead and select an official pitcher and player of the week, and I'll create a graphic and all that jazz.
All right. And by the way, for those, I assume Kyle is good with this programming notes. So Kyle was. He showed up in the 2nd or 3rd inning, but it's okay. We still love him. We are going to not be able to do Thursday night, nor is Alan. Cannot go because there's a Elvis movie that we all want to see. So, but anyway, we're going to do the show most likely Wednesday night at 8. So for
Elvis movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're saying Alan's going to see an Elvis movie. We're going to be at Blackberry Smoke.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We don't have anybody we have no players available for Thursday. So we're doing the show on Wednesday night, and there's a lot of stuff going on.
What about Justin? Justin could do a one-man show.
Yeah, he could. He could do a monologue. He'd do it.
The Wildfire Experience.
The Wildfire Objective.
So we got Wichita State at home. We have the baseball game. Luckily, is at 4:00 on Wednesday against Northern Illinois. So that should be finished. Softball, they have a game, correct, at home?
Yeah, 5:00.
Yeah.
So what time are we doing this on Wednesday night? 8:00, 9:00, 8:30, 8:15?
8:00.
8:05, the Superstation.
All right. We'll hopefully be celebrating 2 wins in a row. 3 wins in a row. 3 wins in a row.
Yeah.
That's correct. And we also the basketball game will be going on while we're doing, but we'll be able to tell you the I guess kind of a watch along.
I'll be watching.
Yep.
I can keep updates coming in.
Yeah, before we get out of here, let's give basketball some kudos. Both the guys and the girls got nice wins.
And the women.
Where does that word come from? Kudos. This got to come from something.
It was a 70s word. Things that happen in the 70s have no reasonable explanation.
Well, I can tell you that the women are now 19-7, and Kyle, our friend of the show, we have now. Let's see, 10 out of 11. It's 19-7, and I mean, I'm telling you what, Kim McNeil has these ladies where we are. I believe, off the top of my head, I believe we are in 2nd place right now in the conference. I'll have to double check that, but Anyway,
Yeah, it's a good season. I mean, this is need to keep winning. The American doesn't get a lot of respect in women's basketball typically most years. So it's typically a one bid league, particularly since UConn moved on. But who knows? Will this be a situation we're going to have to win the turn? I don't know where our where's our RPI or whatever term they use in basketball.
it's net and
Than that.
Net. Do
yeah,
we know?
not off the top. I have not
Okay.
heard.
So
I
I'm just
have
wondering,
not been giving them the love they deserve.
Are we in a position where no matter what we do in the regular season, we're going to have to win the conference tournament?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So
yeah,
We got to get into the conference tournament first. That's the problem.
Well,
no, I'm talking about women's basketball.
ladies.
Okay.
yeah, ladies, we're definitely in.
Yeah.
I'm talking about women's basketball. Are we?
I gotcha.
Are we in a position where we're going to have to win? Is it a one bid league this year? Is what I'm
Yes.
asking.
I would think so. The strength of schedule is probably, not that high overall with the women, but still
Yeah, so it's win the conference tournament no matter what, or end up in the NIT.
Yeah, and keep in mind, we're going to get a bye, guys. We're going to be in the semifinals.
I'll tell you what. If we don't make the NCAA tournament, and we are in the WNIT, we need to pack those WNIT games out because we'll host one or two of them. And I hope to God we're in the NCAA's and ladies basketball. But if we end up in the WNIT, we need to pack those things out. As bad as our men's program is, we need to celebrate the success the ladies are having. And I'm not the biggest women's basketball fan, but I will get into it during postseason play. So hopefully we're in the NCAA tournament and it's a non-issue. But if we do end up hosting WNIT games, maybe I'm going to try to get my fat ass out there instead of just preach to the choir.
a nice win guys Saturday too, by the way. That's not a bad Rice team at all.
Yeah, not only but Kyle, keep in mind the women's basketball for the NCAA tournament. If you're high enough, I mean, we probably won't be that seed, but let's say if we were, there's a chance that if you have a high seed, then you host the first two rounds of the tournament at home. I don't think we're at that point. I'm just saying that is a possibility for it won't be the Pirates this year, but maybe what I'm saying is they can build off of this year. And wouldn't that be cool to be hosting the first two rounds of the NCAA women's tournament at home? That place would
that would be. It's not an option this year, but if we don't make the NCAA tournament women's basketball, we will be hosted in the NIT. So we need to make sure, and if that plays out that way, and I hope it doesn't, that we pack it out was kind of my point. So
right.
Anyway, but yeah, good to see the ladies succeeding. I don't think it gets enough attention, honestly.
And I was thinking about, by the way, Kyle, I want to give some love to our administration. I know they're probably going to have a heart attack right now, but they have done a nice job with the hiring of their coaches. If you look at our volleyball coach, has done a great job. You remember Alan a few years ago when they won like 3 or 4 games before he was brought on, and now they've turned that around. Women's basketball, I've already made obviously the American upset Houston a couple years ago. Then they go to the tournament. Was that 23 and then 24 and 23, I think it was. But then we have a chance now where we could win it again. You get that first round bye.
Yep.
But
talked about softball before the show, and they had a nice weekend. Mr. Winkler's doing a great job with softball. So the overall athletic program at ECU is in a solid place. It's in a good place right now.
Yeah, and John Gilbert just got his contract extension, and as I'll say, this is I've said many times about John Gilbert, and I'll continue to say the thing about John Gilbert. John Gilbert is really good at some things. He's made some good hires. I think from Blake Harrell to Kim McNeil to the softball coach Henry Winkler, the Fonz himself, and
I was waiting for somebody I thought.
And then he does some things that I don't like. I don't think he's very good at scheduling football. In fact, I know he's not. I don't think he's a very personable person. I don't think he's a very exciting person. He's boring, and that's okay. That's okay. I don't have to like everything about you, and I can be. And when I praise you, it actually should mean something. And I know the people of the administration get pissed off at me because of the way I say things, but just know when I do praise you, it should mean more to you because it's genuine. Because I'll criticize you too, and I'm not sitting here with him getting that extension, I'm not sitting here going, wanting to kiss his ass, and I'm not going to. But I'm also not sitting here angry, wanting to punch the wall, like when they gave Jeff Comfer his extension, and then we had to buy it out a year later.
Right.
So congratulations to John. I'm sure. I
Blake,
think I could be wrong on this, but I think he's probably planning on stepping down at the end of 29. So this may be his last extension, just from things I've heard him say in the past. But congratulations to him, and then Blake Harrell got a raise. No extension to the contract; it's still 4 years, but he got a $200,000 raise. I still think he's underpaid, but I think in this day and age, with us having to play players, I expect salaries for Group of 5 coaches to be coming down as a whole. I think the days of the Mike Houston type contracts for most G5 schools are over because we're having to use so much of our money to pay players now. So I think I still think he's a little underpaid. But if he's okay with that, and here's the thing, I'll make this point too. Is he underpaid? Because here's the deal. In this day and age, if you get a Power 4 offer, no matter where it is, most likely you're going. So whether we're paying him $2 million or 100 or 100, $1,005,000, does it really make a difference? Because if say South Carolina comes calling, he's gone. So, but congratulations, Blake deserves everything he gets. He's earned it for sure. Glad to see him get a raise, and wouldn't have had a problem with him getting more. I think he's done a great job. I think this year, I'm giving him a little bit of a not a full pass by any means, but with the amount of rebuild he had to do this year in the portal, certainly not a pass in terms of a losing season, but I'm not expecting to go 11-1 this coming year. But anyway, I'm rambling. But congratulations to Blake Harrell and John Gilbert.
Can I give a shout out, Dave, real quick to
Sure.
Chancellor Philip Rogers? He visited the left field jungle and
well, maybe he'll come on our show sometime
and hung out. And I thought, I found him to be, well, I've spoke to him before, but he's just a people person. And
I like him a lot personally. His dad is a minister, retired minister in Greenville. He was at Oakmont Baptist, Greg Rogers, who I think a lot of a really good man, really good dude. And we won't, if people for some reason they wouldn't let him come on the show, there's no reason.
Well, I think it may have something to do with the last podcast he was on. I think maybe we get misconstrued because of language, and there is language sometimes up here, but it's also the format it is. But he was on another podcast that does the same thing we do, just not as well. And they dropped the F-bomb on the same episode he was on. And I think probably that has a little bit to do with him not wanting to do other podcasts like this more so than anything we've done. And I could be wrong on that, but I got a strong hunch.
That might be, that's a strong possibility. I do remember that. Kenneth, by the way, says Gilbert needs to improve in pushing our athletic brand on a national scale. And by the way, guys, I sent you, Kenneth, if you do me a favor.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
He does. And Kenneth and I were talking yesterday. We were texting. Kenneth, if you can, Kyle is going to love, all the guys will, but Kyle especially is going to love that show that you were on, the college football. Help me out on that one, Kenneth. It's more of a Big 12 centralized show.
Why was he on it?
He's actually one. What I'm saying is not like he's doing here. He's not actually on the show.
Oh, okay.
But he's participating, and they were talking about like G5 schools that are on the bubble, like we talked about it. There it is, CFB Mafia. Do you have the link to that? Because I want Kyle to be able to, and all the guys, like I said, but Kyle especially, I want him to see that because I thought it was pretty cool. And
well, we've been on the bubble for years, and it's our fan base keeps us there. Even with attendance going down, we still leave the so-called group of 5 in attendance, and the American, we always leave that in attendance.
Basically,
go ahead.
No, I was just going to add to what you're saying. What they're talking about with conference realignment, whenever that happens, and with ACC being rated, they were putting us in as a Power 4 school. I assume we would still be Power 4, but anyway, like on the bubble.
Yeah, who the hell knows at that point what it would be?
Yeah.
But
they're talking about East Carolina's a lock to be in, definitely in the ACC. They were talking about ACC Big 12, like who would be added two of those
Yeah,
conferences.
any updates on the Mr. Beast stuff? Has that just kind of gone quiet? Did anybody hear any speculation about that?
Alan and Jimmy are close friends. Alan, do you? I know you're a Greenville guy. Well, Farmville, Greenville guy, Winterville, all of the county, Chicago. But anyway,
Falkland, Toddy, Fountain. Yes.
yeah,
Bethel,
Stokes. Okay, that joke's old.
Blackjack. Is that Pitt County?
Yeah, Simpson. Yes, it is. And Simpson. While you're at it,
Grifton. You forgot Grifton.
Oh, and I forgot Grimesland. My friends, all my friends in Grimesland, we have a huge.
What was the original thing here? Oh yeah, have you talked? Alan? Have you heard from Mr. Beast?
Nope, nothing from Mr. Beast. That has kind of cooled off a little bit.
Can you text him right now and see if he'll come on the show? He's kind of a shy guy. I mean.
Well, look, here's what Mr. Beast doesn't realize: as much as Mr. Beast does, and all the personality he has, and all the money he has, and all the influence he has, Mr. Beast has not experienced. He has not reached his full potential until he collaborates with Kyle Barber. Until he brings Kyle Barber into the Mr. Beast family. Until Kyle from LaGrange and Mr. Beast partner up. And Mr. Beast thinks he's taking over the world now. When he's got Kyle from LaGrange, on his shoulder, and I'm his number 2, well, then he really will be number 1. When I'm his number 2, he really will be number 1.
So you're his Robin to his Batman.
Mr. Beast will have levels of success unbeknownst to even what he's considered. I mean, people think he won't even be the most. If he makes me his number 2, you can forget being the richest guy on the internet, the richest man on YouTube, the biggest social media influencer out there. He will be the biggest celebrity in the world, the entire world.
What you're saying is, if I'm getting this correct, when you think number 2, think Kyle Barber.
When you think number 2, think Kyle Barber. And with Mr. Beast, when you want to be number 1, you think of me as your number 2 because I am the shit.
I was going to say you're full of it. So we can both of you are full of it. But anyway, yeah, that would be podcast gold. Whenever Alan could get one of his best friends, Mr. Beast, Jimmy, he's on a first name. In fact, Alan says Jimmy all the time, and I'm like, who in the hell? Oh, Mr. Beast. Yeah. So
I just don't want to work any. I just, not work. What Mr. Beast does is work, but what I just want to be part of it. I want to make hundreds of thousands. I don't got to make millions. Just give me hundreds of thousands a year to be entertaining. I can do it.
Did you see Super Bowl last week? I believe he was at the Super Bowl.
He had a commercial during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There you go. That's what you got to do. Kyle, work on your commercials, and then.
Well, I already gave him the song "Cheer for Beast Carolina," cheer for old BC, but so far it hasn't happened. But we can keep trying. Clip all this. Clip this. We're going to get this out there. We're going to go viral. We're going to put Mr. Beast in the title, and it's going to go super viral.
Or super chats. Say that again, Alan.
I said a D.H. Conley graduate done good.
Yeah. We need Mr. Beast to come to the super chat. Now, that'd be something.
Yeah, let's see if we can get him on. Jimmy, are you listening?
Some zeros.
Yeah, y'all like, good God, are any of y'all South Park fans?
Yes. Early South, the very beginning of South Park, the first few seasons, I was lost.
It's still good. I mean, I don't watch it every week, but you said Jimmy. It's immediately. Y'all remember Jimmy from South Park? Yeah.
I do. Yes, I vaguely. It's been a while since I've watched South Park.
Oh, Jimmy's great.
Yes.
JR, are you a South Park guy?
I dabble in it. I appreciate the humor is just,
Well, do you remember Jimmy?
Well thought out. I'm thinking right now, Kyle, if I saw a picture of him.
Jimmy, he's got cerebral palsy and a speech impediment, and
yeah.
It's great. It's great. I love South Park because they pick on everybody and everybody's included. And
Jimmy Vollmer.
Yeah, one of the biggest things about Jimmy on South Park is none of the boys, like, they're mean to him, like Stan and Kyle and Cartman. They're all mean to him like they are the rest of the kids, and he's mean to, but they never pick on his disability. Never, like, you never hear Cartman make fun of us. It never happens. But it's I don't know. I love the way they do things. They do things so they piss everybody off, but they include everybody.
I like my favorite character was I used to enjoy Chef, but
did you see? Do you remember Chef's final episode?
It's been like Alan
Okay,
said.
well, Chef Isaac Hayes joined Scientology and left the show, and the Church of Scientology wanted them to do away with every appearance of Chef, and so did Isaac Hayes. Well, those guys own those rights, so they kill Chef off on the show, and they have him being brainwashed, which was what they were doing. Was they used something else in place of him joining the Church of Scientology. And yeah, you just look the episode up. It's great. It's Chef's final appearance.
He had a great song. Do you remember that?
It's hysterical.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Suck on my chocolate, salty balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was. I mean, you got a guy that has the theme from Shaft and then Salty Balls.
Yeah, and no, it's great. But his final episode, they took. He'd done hundreds of episodes, and so he left the show. So they take his voice and just splice together whatever they want him to say. And he had been brainwashed instead of by the Church of Scientology in the episode. He had been brainwashed to for something else. You guys just have to watch the episode.
All right, we'll do that. So, guys, we're almost at an hour and a half. Do you have anything else you want to talk about tonight? Valentine's. Alan, did you treat the Mrs. Vic?
We did. We wound up over at our friend Nikki Harris's last night for a nice little evening, and had a good time there, and spent the day. Shout out to Tyler Reddick for winning the Daytona 500.
That was a great finish.
What a finish!
Well, Johnny had a lot of money on Tyler Reddick, I think. But
No, he's the West Coast guy. I go for the Chevrolet drivers that are Southern. I still like. I think Kyle mentioned once that he likes the Southern dialect and these drivers, and I do too. And there are not many of them left. So
until NASCAR does that, until NASCAR starts going around these short tracks in the South, I don't care if they're look. I know that sounds ignorant, but I don't care if they're the best driver or not. You got to have the personality. Sometimes the personality is more important. I'm not suggesting that you just go pull some redneck off the street. Go to these local dirt tracks and these small tracks in the Southeast and find some guys that can drive cars that have personalities and bring them up to NASCAR. If you want to save the sport, that's the only way to do it.
And I tell you what, one of my favorite drivers of all time, Alan, and you told us about the documentary. Hopefully I can find it, but that's why the Intimidator was Intimidator. That was a big SOB, and he definitely wasn't from California.
Yep. No. I think it's Wednesday will be actually 25 years that since Earnhardt passed away.
MJ's car. That's right. Michael Jordan, Kyle's favorite.
I hate Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Kyle. I mean,
they have that guy, Steven Singer. I hate StevenSinger.com. You can have I hate MichaelJordan.com.
I bet it already exists.
Well, they are going back to Rockingham.
Yeah, I agree, Kenneth.
I agree, Kenneth.
Well, they're going back to Rockingham in the truck in the Busch series. They're not going back in the Cup series.
You never know. I loved it. The tire management at that track was crazy because of all the sandstone.
As nice as it is, and them going back to North Wilkesboro is great. I still think you're not going to really bring back. You still need, for me anyway. And if I look at myself and I assume that I'm not the only person that thinks this way, just from talking to other folks. Until you bring back these personalities, so you bring back boys people can identify with. I mean, your majority of your NASCAR fan base is in the South historically. So you need guys that we can identify with. And not only is your fan base now, it's easier. Some people say it's easier to create new fans than you get your own fans back. I'm going to disagree with that a little bit. These guys now, all of us, when we were watching NASCAR, we were watching guys that were older than us or around our age. And all these guys are younger than us because of our age. And I wouldn't suggest they bring on a senior tour for NASCAR. But we do need to be able to look at these guys and see men. They just look like boys, and they're all clean shaven and short hair, and nobody has a Southern accent, and nobody has a goatee, and nobody has, come on. I want some personality.
Alan, what about Ty Gibbs? He looks like he's 12.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ty gets us.
The kid in the Daytona 500 today that's tremendously talented named Connor Zilic. He's 19 years old.
I mean, I want somebody that's packing some skull in their lip when they get
Yeah.
out the car.
Here again.
I want somebody that's wanting to raise some hell in victory lane and
Throw a beer up in there. Like
throw a beer. Yeah, I mean, hell, I'd be happy with a modern wild dude who wants to vape right after. It's just.
Or how about Alan? What about a guy smoking a cigarette in victory lane?
Oh, that was awesome. That happened all the time.
Now, David Pearson was a smoker in the race car, and so was Dick Trickle.
Yep.
Dick Trickle was a smoker in the race car.
A-Win says, Kyle, get off my lawn. LOL. Just kidding.
I'm going to say it again.
Well, I mean, it's not
If you had to pick a driver, I think you'd like Ross Chastain, number one.
All right, I'm gonna look him up.
He's a watermelon farmer. Yeah, like seventh generation watermelon farmer.
To what he was saying, it's not even an old guy thing. I felt this way. Like I could see this coming before I was old. Yeah, no, not in the 90s. It started happening when I got out of the sport. When I got out of the sport, like I used to participate. I quit following NASCAR when I was in my late 20s because it had already started to change around 08, 09. That's when I got out of it. And so it's not even an old man thing. I felt this way for a while. I think a lot of people, a lot of people, the sport did die when Dale died, but a lot of folks got out of it. Because it changed too much. And there was a lot of people that held on after the change out of pure habit and because Junior was still there. Yeah, and then once he retired, that was it. They didn't have anybody to follow anymore. They didn't care.
After Senior died, the attendance was actually just as good for several years, and Junior was a big part of that.
Yep.
Yeah, that was their favorite driver. He won favorite driver for how many years in a row?
A lot. And, like I said the other night on here, I was a petty guy. And, Kyle wasn't doing anything by that point. He was still driving, but he wasn't having any success by the time Dale Sr. died. And Jessica, my wife, was a Dale Jr. fan just because she thought he was cute. And so when Dale Sr. died, I started cheering for Junior because she was a fan because I felt bad for him because his dad just passed away. So I became a Dale Jr. fan. And then once he got out of the sport, I hadn't had anybody to cheer for. I don't. None of these guys, I don't identify with any of them and haven't for years. And I don't even know most of the names now. That's at least there was a while where I still knew most of the names. I don't even know who most of the drivers are anymore.
It's like grassroots, good old boys racing, Carteret Speedway. Bunch of
Put what Kenneth just said back up there. Alan, and to get to your point, we'll come back to that. But yes. When Jim Crockett Promotions sold to Ted Turner, and they went under the banner of World Championship Wrestling, and Turner owned it, they made some mistakes. They wanted to quit running. They didn't quit running Greensboro and Charlotte and Raleigh, but they had already taken Starrcade away from Greensboro, but they made Greensboro a secondary market. They expanded outside of their footprint. And when you look back when WCW finally had success with Nitro during the NWO days, they went back more, even though there were a lot of guys from up north, Hogan, et cetera, WWF guys came down to WCW. They ran the South a lot. Yeah, they were running the Northeast and everywhere else because at one time with the NWO stuff, the WCW was red hot. But they were running Florida and Atlanta and Georgia and the most. But he's right. The comparison to Jim Crockett Promotions and WCW is an adequate comparison to WCW. To NASCAR. It's a good comparison.
Yep. That was on, and at the same time, the internet came along and it opened the door to everybody knew what was going on in the sport behind the scenes. Every fan was a smart fan, and the combination of those two things really hurt it.
Yeah. But what were you saying about Carteret Speedway? I know it's a good track. I know Jeremy Mayfield was running down there a lot at one point.
A couple of times a year. Seriously, not just because I announced there, but if you like good old boy short track racing, guys, you could before the races we have a meet and greet where you can go on the track and meet the drivers and see the cars and touch the cars and all that. You would really enjoy going down to Carteret. It's a beautiful track, lots of food, good view. of everything, and it's good old boys racing that love racing for the love of racing, and it's just a really, really cool. It's a kind of a throwback facility.
Hey, Alan, I had one of those right here in my backyard, Manassas. And what happened was they built a housing community next to the racetrack. Everybody knew there was a racetrack there. They moved in, and then they all got together and petitioned the county for noise ordinances, and they closed it. Manassas was a historical track. The Allison brothers raced there, Petty, all of them at one point, and now there's no track because the people that moved there decided they didn't want to live next to a racetrack.
Wilson had a racetrack for years that had hosted NASCAR Cup races for years, and things happen and tracks. But short track racing is very healthy in places, and thank goodness, Carteret's one of the healthier short tracks that are.
Yeah,
I grew up.
We got to get East Carolina Speedway.
Yeah, I grew up going to East Carolina Motor Speedway, and
a bummer when that closed. Man, broke my heart.
Yeah, it closed and it reopened briefly and closed again. But I grew up going there, watching Shelton McNair, Jim Kelly, and all those boys, and used to hang out. There used to be a playground there, and teenagers would go hang out in the playground, took it over from the kids.
Up guys would come run there. Hut Strickland, Rick Mash.
Yeah. Junior ran there.
Dale Jr. won a race, and he ran a crew member and broke his leg. And
Ernie Irvin ran a race there too at one point.
So if you're interested in buying a track from Mr. Perry, I'm being dead serious. Like we're trying in Martin County, we're trying to bring that track back. I know there were some people interested. Of course, you always.
What kind of shape is it in?
It's in awful shape. It would have to be completely revamped from head to toe.
How are the grandstands?
Everything is. I'm just being honest.
Everything.
Mother Nature has destroyed everything there, and it closed at the end of 2019. So it doesn't take Mother Nature very long to work, do what she does, and it would take a full rebuild.
If they could stayed open another year, Kyle, they would have got COVID money to Governor Cooper and the state legislature.
Wow.
And it was 1 year's difference if they had just made it to 2020, which is so sad. And somebody said, well, your home track is East Carolina. And it was back when Alan was still calling. And I said, listen, one of my best friends, especially in radio, he's like a Supreme Court justice. As long as they have that track, he's going to be announcing, and I'm not taking away something from my dear friend Alan Vick. So, but it is actually my home track.
Couple girlfriends from me over the years, Dave. So
I know my best friend's girl.
Yeah, but really, Robertsonville, I've got some old videos that somebody gave me of Robertsonville in the first 3 or 4 or 5 years it was open, and that was a magical place. And the guy that opened it, Gerald Whitehurst. I don't know if you knew Gerald, Kyle.
No.
Just a fantastic gentleman. Wayne Perry Chevrolet in Elizabeth City owns the track and still does. Just very sad, but there are some healthy racetracks within driving distance. County Line in
do they still run Southern National?
Yes.
Yes.
It starts the end of on the 28th.
If any of you come to a race, just let me know. You can ride with me, for crying out loud. I mean,
Well, Johnny and I haven't talked to Kyle about it. Speaking of something we need to talk about up here, but Johnny and I, Kyle, have already talked about going there to see Alan and surprise him. And
well, it's not a surprise anymore.
Well, I know.
There's plenty of good.
Told him.
I like the idea of riding down there with Alan.
Yep, you come on and ride with me. It will. I promise you, not just because I'm there. It's a first class facility. Good people. You'll have a good time.
Is it in Moorhead? What town's it in?
No,
Pelletier, right?
Pelletier.
Yeah, I knew it was in Swansboro.
Yeah, from my house, it's an hour and a half, and I live in Winterville. But it's not a bad ride at all.
Yeah, I go down that way all the time. So it ain't nothing for me to go down there. I just hadn't been. But wouldn't mind checking out a race down there. We might do that. When does the season start?
April 11th.
And runs until
December. December.
Good God. We'll find some time this summer to definitely come on a Saturday night.
Absolutely.
Y'all run Saturday night, I'm assuming.
Yeah, we don't.
Does the concession stand have any like signature items or anything? What do they got there?
Schedule's basically every other Saturday night. Not in December. By that point, it's like one. December. But you can go to CarteretteSpeedway.com and look at the schedule. We bring the Allison Legacy Series in, the Grand National Super Series, the series that Bobby Labonte races in, the Smart Modified Tour will be coming back this year. So it's going to be a good year.
So JR asked a question: is there any specialties at the concession stands? Anything stand out?
Oh, it's all good. I'm working so much. I usually don't get much to eat there, but I'll get him whatever he wants. And I've never had anything that I didn't like, and I'm being honest. Good hot dog, burgers, pizza. There's a full functional restaurant inside the racetrack where you can get full meals and things like that. I don't get to go very often because I'm working, but
they do full meals, like
yeah, you can go get yeah. That's it's called Moonshiners is the name of the restaurant.
Okay, all right.
Hey, Alan, do they have a suite?
Do they have moonshine?
Yes, they have suites. Yes,
that one.
Yes, they have a suite in turn 4. There's several great places to watch the race.
Do they have moonshine?
Now, Junior Johnson, some of his money helped build the racetrack, so that's a distinct possibility. Distinct possibility.
No, I mean, I was being serious. If the restaurant sold moonshine or not.
Well, hey, I can neither confirm nor deny.
Well, I mean, legal moonshine.
Yeah, legal moonshine is not really moonshine in my book.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is. I mean, it's all in how you make it.
Ooh.
It's copper and corn, and I mean, it's categorized. I mean, I get what you're saying, but technically, if it's made that way, I mean, it's just like a bourbon's a bourbon, a whiskey's a moonshine is a kind of bourbon. It's how it's made.
Now,
What kind of whiskey is a kind of bourbon?
I bought a big jug of from Jacksonville.
Waltons.
Yeah, exactly. Of their moonshine.
They're not that good.
It was, I could agree with you on that. It was 120 proof, so I thought it might be close, but the taste just is not there.
I mean, you just want it for the. I mean, I like some of Old Smoky's flavored stuff.
It's mostly beer and then some of the other seltzers and things like that. Isn't there something to do with the ALE when you start selling alcohol with a certain amount of whatever with different?
You got to have different license versus beer and wine versus hard liquor.
Right. Yeah. But
it's a lot easier to get a beer and wine license, and rightfully so. It's very hard to get a liquor
by the drink is what they refer to it as.
Yeah.
But I would love for you to come down. I set up by the beer kiosk, believe it or not.
Yeah, it is easier though with a full service restaurant. It's a lot easier with food. That's why I didn't know if possibly they did sell. I almost wondered if the reason to have a full service restaurant called Moonshiners was to sell. That would be a great idea for a racetrack. If you had a racetrack with a full service liquor license, and then they partnered with a distillery, even though Walton's isn't the best it is in the area. They partnered with them and had tastings and come on out and try different moonshine drinks. I mean, that would be money right there.
Yep, and they use the track for other things as well. We've had concerts there. We've had Christmas laser light shows there, monster truck shows there every year.
Yeah, I remember the monster truck show. I remember seeing the laser light show promoted on Facebook this year. What concert was there recently?
They had it one summer. Believe it, it was excellent. They had like a Kiss tribute, ZZ Top tribute, and all in one
tribute bands. Okay,
yeah.
And but I went and I really enjoyed it.
And by the way, guys, speaking of tribute bands, my friend, I checked about I don't know if you guys saw, but the concert series that's normally on Town Common, the Greenville Toyota Amphitheater, is actually they're doing some renovations this year. So those of you that are in Greenville area and you're looking for, like me, I love those concerts they have. It's going to be under Dowdy Ficklin. It's not going to be like the Dowdy Ficklin. It's going to be like we saw Greggy and the Jets, Alan.
Yeah, and that was excellent. Yeah, they put it underneath there because of the weather, and that worked perfectly.
Except for if you were under one of the drips.
Yeah. That's right. I saw you there, Johnny. I'd never met you before, in person.
You have. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, Kyle. Maybe we get Kyle to come to a show this summer. But
who's playing?
Well, our good friends from Trial by Fire, Ernie Shepard, He's the lead singer of Trial by Fire.
No, I'm sure he's a
Okay.
fine fellow. Anything that's not a tribute band.
Greggy,
It-
trust me, Greggy and the Jets is something you would really enjoy.
What is it?
It's the Elton John tribute band, but the guy is phenomenal.
Anything that's not a tribute band.
You're missing out with Greggy. I'm just telling you, because phenomenal, just phenomenal.
Okay.
We got some good independent artists coming out with guitars, writing songs, that kind of thing.
No,
I got a question for you, Kyle.
they do that more on the Sunday night concert series.
Is
They
this
have
thing
on.
working?
Yeah, JR, go ahead, buddy.
I never know if my internet's still working or not. I mean, okay, tribute bands, you got a thumbs down. How are you on bands that do cover songs? What do you think about that?
Okay, how am I on bands that do cover songs? All right, so let me put it to you this way. And it's tribute bands. It's just not going to get me out. I would go see a Chris Ledoux tribute band, but it would have to be something like that.
Backyard.
Something that was very niche for me. But
we're talking about bands that do cover.
I understand what you're asking. I'm not going to go out of my way to see a cover band. But can I enjoy a cover band? Yes, absolutely. But will I go out of my way to see a cover band? No. I'd rather go see, like, give me somebody putting out their own stuff, even if I hadn't heard it, and then they play covers. Like, let's say you're a Southern rock band, and your name is Juicy Lucy, and you do covers 50% of your stuff, and then 50% you do your original stuff. I'll go see you. But if you're just doing nothing but covers,
Okay. You answered my question because Blackberry Smoke does a lot of covers, but they do. I swear, I like them better than the originals.
I have no problem with that at all. But Blackberry Smoke's put out 10, 12 albums and has plenty of stuff, and
we might hear 3 of them. We might hear 2 or 3 covers.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that's fine. I go to concerts all the time. I'm used to that. Cody Jinks does 1 to 2 covers every show, and some of his covers he'll record because they become so popular. I have no problem with that. No, I thought I didn't even know.
Okay.
I actually
that was my line of questioning was leading.
No,
okay.
That's not even what I thought you were asking. I thought you were asking, will I go see cover bands? No, just bands that do covers.
No, I wouldn't do that either. No, I wouldn't do that either.
I love good covers. Now, don't do what Jamie Johnson does, where in a 23-song set, he does half his damn set in covers, and and you're a Jamie Johnson deep cut guy, and you want to hear, and you don't even play half of his freaking But anyway, that kind of stuff's frustrating. But no, Blackberry Smoke, out of a 22-song set, and your typical concert's 22 songs. So out of a 22-song set, if Blackberry Smoke does 3 covers, it's great. Yeah, that's fine.
I think Running with the Pack from Bad Company is better than Bad Company, in my opinion. He does Tom Petty. You Got Lucky, better than Tom Petty. And Southern Child, he does.
Still Woods, their version of Southern Accent, to me, is way better than Tom Petty's. So, I mean,
I have to hear that because I love Tom Petty. And
Still Woods' version of Southern Accent is fantastic. But some bands. Cody Jinks' cover of Led Zeppelin's "Wish You Were Here." I prefer it to Led Zeppelin. That might be sacrilege.
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. Did I say Led Zeppelin? Yeah, Pink Floyd. Wish You Were Here. Cody Jinks' cover of that is, I think, better than theirs, the original version, which is probably sacrilege to say.
Yeah.
The steel guitar and "Wish You Were Here," it matches the song so well.
I'll listen to it. I'm sure it's good.
Another topic for another show would be songs that you never want to hear again in your lifetime.
Yeah.
I have a list.
We'll save it.
What would be your number one, Alan?
Number 1 song I never want to hear again is "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey.
Oh, wow.
Never want to hear that song again in my life. Freebird, close second.
You know what? I love Freebird, particularly live versions. Yep. Don't Stop Believing, I would agree with you if it wasn't. It makes me think of ECU football with 91 and We Believe and all that. But I don't know. That's a good question. Songs you never want
Well,
to
we
hear
need
again.
to do a Stevie Fly.
Anything. I got one. Cruise by Florida Georgia Line.
Yep. Not well. I would rather not. And the Bon Jovi "Living on a Prayer." I realize what a great song it was. I understand it. But my God, I mean, how many times I never want to hear it again.
So how do you
Right.
go to ECU football games? They play it every game.
Well, if you don't have a choice, I mean, it's not like I'm going to walk up in the press box and go, "Hey, man, don't play that song again," or I'm going to punch you.
But they're all great songs. So you got songs you just got tired of hearing.
Yeah, I never have denied that they're not great songs, but I guess it's me because
So it's two different things. So
I've
songs you're tired of
That
hearing versus songs you hate.
yeah, I've played them so many times. They're just it's just they've gotten
Brown Eyed.
No.
worn out, completely worn out, in my opinion.
Alan, I know one of them. I believe saw your Facebook post, so I'll preface it by saying I believe one of your overplayed songs is "Brown Eyed Girl."
Brown Eyed Girl's another one. It's just one of
By,
those, you got to understand, and this is just me, and it's totally me. I've heard these songs a zillion times. I would much rather hear a Van Morrison deep cut or a Journey deep cut or a Bon Jovi deeper cut than ever hear the things that have been pounded in the pavement, over and over and over and over and over. But that's just me. That's just
okay. What if Jimmy Buffett's his version of Brown Eyed Girl came on? Would you listen to it?
His version is excellent. Jimmy Buffett's version of Brown Eyed Girl is excellent. Actually, I played it when it was new. I was a young pup in radio. It's outstanding. He did a nice cover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did a nice cover. Yeah, I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Speaking of this, I mean, we need to wrap this up because we're all off topic. But if you want to go and wrap it up, we'll save it for a different night. But it was just something that came to mind here recently. Me and Stevie were actually talking about it last night. It's completely ruined their legacy.
Music wise?
Yeah. Nothing it's not anything they put out, or this person, I don't want to give it away. This person's it's just a mistake they have made. And I don't know if they've even realized how much he's hurting his legacy.
Bruce Springsteen?
No.
Oh, that's who I was thinking.
No. Well, that's just political stuff.
Yeah, well,
you're talking about music. You're talking about music that
yes.
they
No. And as far as Springsteen hurting his legacy, I still think Springsteen's one of the greatest artists of all time. I don't care about his political beliefs.
Springsteen.
Yeah.
I think he's alienated half his audience, but that's it.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I'd still go see him.
I don't like him.
I mean, if he breaks out, and look, he breaks out with Jungle Land, and somebody can hit that saxophone solo still, I'm on, yeah. But so
go for it. Just tell us who it is.
Garth Brooks, by only having his music through Amazon. That's the only place you can stream his music. You can't stream it through Spotify. You can't stream it through Apple. You can't stream it through anywhere. Amazon. And at one time, it wasn't even Amazon. He tried his own streaming service briefly. There are people coming up that are in their 20s who don't know Garth Brooks from a hole in the ground because they didn't, like, 90s country has really made a comeback, and artists like, Travis Tritt and Shenandoah. Shenandoah is one of the weirdest. I don't know if you guys realize how popular Shenandoah has become because of TikTok. Shenandoah is selling out places now that they didn't sell out, in their prime. That's a real weird one. But Garth, because his songs only be available through Amazon
or YouTube. You can get your fill on YouTube.
Well, I'm talking about far as
I guess you can't really stream.
Yeah. Kids ain't. There's a whole generation now. I guarantee you survey anybody between the age of 13 and say 28, and I don't think they would name Garth Brooks as one of the biggest country artists, even from the 90s.
Well, for my generation, Chris Gaines hurt Garth, and I know the story and how it happened. It really wasn't.
Yeah, it did, Alan. But I think the biggest thing that's hurting with new listeners is he's not out there being discovered. New people aren't discovering Garth. He sold millions of albums, so he still has a fan base, but there's not new people discovering him. The people that are going to see Shenandoah right now are all young. They had a song went viral on TikTok, 2 Dozen Roses. It became a popular TikTok sound. And because of that, they blew up. It's crazy. And, people go, all right, so this band has 2 Dozen Roses. It became a TikTok sound. let me go listen to all their music, and you can find it on any genre you happen to be streaming.
Is
Where
Mark Saban back with Shenandoah?
yes, yes, yeah, you bet your ass he is.
Yeah.
I mean, the mama ain't raised no fool.
I didn't know bluegrass and the gospel thing.
No, mama ain't raised. Yeah, bluegrass and gospel. It ain't a green. It ain't as whatever pays the money, Alan. You know how that goes.
I'll tell you, my favorite Shenandoah song that was not a big hit. It was their first release. It was called "Stop the Rain." That's a great song.
Yeah, I don't know what my maybe Janie Baker's Love Slave.
Yeah, I like Janie Baker. I was in the club business, and that was a big club hit when I was
I'll have
doing.
to go back and now that you say that, I'll have to go back and listen. I met those guys maybe 2000.
Sunday in the South.
I think
Great song. Yeah, that whole album's good.
Al-
Sunday in the South is really, that's Church on Cumberland Road. That's Mama Knows. That whole album was really big for them.
Yep. So what I'll give Garth a call and say, Garth, what are you doing?
yeah.
I
but
guarantee you right now, I guarantee
Kyle-
you more people between the ages of 15 to 25 know Shenandoah is than Garth Brooks. Y'all might think I'm crazy. I'm telling you right now.
And anybody who wasn't in the midst of Garth when he was at his peak, it was incredible. It was
It was
absolutely
a phenomenon.
Yeah. I heard something about and I need to go back and check this. But now that you said that, there was something about his Amazon deal. Like, in other words, he did it obviously for money. And, just to try, like, Amazon gave him the best deal. In fact, he was
Right, but how much money do you need to make at this point? At this point, don't you want
Spotify.
as many people to discover your music as possible?
He was supposed to go exclusively with. He told a story in 2017 about that was about the time that he was doing the Amazon thing, and he told the story about how Spotify actually was where he was leaning, and then Amazon came in and scooped him up. And so I don't know. I mean, maybe it's loyalty. I think he was.
Well, but he's the only artist that does that crap. He did that crap back in the day where all his music was exclusively sold at Walmart.
Well, there's a lot of people that are doing that. AC/DC is doing it.
I think it's a bad thing. I think you should want your music available on as many platforms as possible.
absolutely.
I agree with that, but I agree with that 100%. I'm just saying that he was one of the first to do that. Taylor Swift has done that. AC/DC, they do it for 6 months a year. It's not like they're doing it like as far as that is concerned.
No, Garth has been for years. I mean, you've never been able to get Garth music as long as I've known from Apple Music.
No Spotify for sure.
No. I'm saying I agree with that. I'm just saying as far as music wise, they do that for a short period of time. But yeah, the streaming services, at some point you got to say, okay, I gave Amazon a long run, and Trisha Yearwood, his wife. And now it's time to move on to.
Look, I should have recorded this because I doubt I can get it to repeat it. But I asked Alexa Plus last night, or maybe it was the night before last. I don't remember what it was. But I asked, did she think it was hurting Garth Brooks' legacy because of his lack of people being able to discover his music throughout multiple platforms, being exclusively with Amazon? And their own AI robot agreed with me that it was definitely hurting his legacy. I don't know if I can get it to say it again because I sometimes once it'll say stuff one time, like it'll go in and censor itself.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos watches our show, and now Alexa's fired. So
That's why these artists
Jeff Bezos fires everyone these days. So why not fire Alexa?
Yeah, these artists tour so extensively because think about how they get paid now with all the digital stuff. It's really weird. They're making a quarter of a penny per play or whatever it is, and so when you tour, that's where the money is now. There's
always been, and merch and touring is why they make it. And on these websites, if you notice, the websites are actually, if you're looking for concert or just T-shirts of your favorite artist, it's a lot cheaper. Not all the time, but some of the time you can find really good deals on, like Jimmy. Speaking of Jimmy Buffett, I buy like old concert T-shirts that from the 80s or different times just for the heck of it, and they'll sell them a lot cheaper. And then Alan Vick's going to be on tour this year. I know that you've got a really cool like tie-dye T-shirt.
Do you cut sleeves out of your 80s T-shirts, Dave?
Yeah, you got me. You nailed it. I want to, I look so much better without the sleeves, but I guess that's all relative. But Anyway, do you guys want to get out of here? We're at the 2-hour mark. We're actually, Jim Cornette's coming on soon because he's upset that we're taking his market of the long version of the podcast world.
Goddamn.
Before we go, I'm going to say I love Jim Cornette, and it's time to go. I love Jim Cornette. He's one of my all-time favorite people in the world. But when Jim decides to go the political route, I can't stomach that.
You know what?
I can't stomach.
See, we'll leave here.
Yeah.
All right, so I did for a while agree with him, and then I didn't agree with him, and now I'm okay with it again. So,
Yeah.
I kind of agree with Jim more and more these days. So,
well, he's one of a kind. If nobody doesn't listen to the Jim Cornette Experience and
the drive-through.
In the drive, it's well worth your time because I love him to death. We don't agree on a lot of things, other than wrestling, but I absolutely love Jim Cornette.
Well, one of the most entertaining people alive. And Brian Last, I think, is very underrated on that show. Brian's such a little smarmy, little smart ass.
Yeah. Yep. And he actually, Jim Cornette has one thing I didn't know I would have in common with Jim Cornette is he has very good musical taste. So, including the East Carolina guys, the Avett brothers. He's a huge.
I like some of his musical taste, some of it I don't. We're 50-50 on that. But he does like the Avett brothers. He doesn't like a lot of modern stuff. I think there's a lot of modern stuff. If he listened to it, he would like, but he just hasn't given it a chance.
Yep. Not on my lawn. He's definitely one of those guys. No.
Oh, yeah.
Did you hear about the fan that made the mistake of finding his address and driving all the way from Virginia Beach and knocking on his door? And he opened the door and he said, I got something for you. And Jim said, I got something for you. And I ran him off of the yard. It was great. It was about a year ago that happened.
He made a ton of money when all the videos, he fished all that NWA stuff out of a dumpster.
Yeah.
And started to sell it. But now I imagine he doesn't make as much money selling the videos and the stuff now.
He doesn't. He makes a lot of money from the podcast.
A lot.
He's made a lot of money selling action figures. Jim's very smart with doing stuff, and he's done it all independently without having to sign a WWE Legends deal.
Right.
And that's why he's not one of their favorite people because he's good with his money. He don't need them.
Yeah, his wife helps him a lot too.
Stacey, yeah. But Jim really, we'll get out of here, but he really can give his opinion on things because he doesn't need anybody's money. He doesn't need a job with AEW. He doesn't need a job with WWE. And because of that, because he's independently wealthy, I'm not saying he's a multi-millionaire, but he ain't hurting for nothing. There's so many guys from that era that didn't handle their money well. And Jim did, and he doesn't have to take any crap from anybody because of that. And doesn't have to leave his house.
Yep, he doesn't most of the time. So, all right, guys. Johnny Robertson, Johnny Stats, we appreciate you so much. AV, don't forget, and Kyle, don't forget as well. Wednesday night, we are going to be on a special edition of On Deck a night before that we normally do. And, of course, the Big Carolina series, we'll be talking about that. But we'll recap obviously the Campbell game, which is at Jim Perry Stadium in Boys Creek, and the home game that'll be just over by that point, or about an hour or so after the game is over. We'll be with you on Wednesday night at 8:00, and it's right here. So thank you guys. I've been waiting all this time, all today, to do this show. We appreciate it very much. We'll get out of here. So long, everybody, and as always, go Pirates.
You're watching The Sports Objective, the podcast for Pirates.